Yeah, we're great to be here today. We did vote against our own budget when it brought the cuts in. We are not voted in to cut. We are voted in to represent the people of our wards, and that is what we're voted in for, not to cut. When this government makes local authorities do their dirty work, we're not there for that. We're there to represent the people who put us into power, and we deliver what we have to put into power. We've seen hundreds and hundreds of cuts for local authorities over the last few months, and the threats of other cuts coming in for next year. There's going to be nothing left to cut if we carry on letting them do this, and that's why we have to all join together in solidarity and make sure that we fight this government. This Tory-led government with the Lib Dems is unjust, it's immoral, and this bedroom tax has to be stopped. If it goes on, like this chap said earlier on, if it doesn't get moved from the statute when another government comes in, we'll be here again in a few more years' time when the other parties are thrown out to start again. The NHS are taking a real bashing shortly, and the bedroom tax, what's happening with the bedroom tax, the people will become ill, and there's going to be a knock-on effect for the NHS. Homeless people will increase due to the bedroom tax, and the thing is, they aren't seeing the bigger picture of what it's going to cause our societies everywhere in Great Britain. And I have to say to you that the thing is we have to do now is we have to lobby the local councils, and we have to make sure they put a motion through council to say we will not evict anybody who becomes a victim of the bedroom tax. Thank you.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Carry on, Jill. Carry on.
Right, thanks. Right, over the last approximately 3 years, I found myself changing personally to the point where I can hardly remember the feelings of optimism I had through my teenage years, bringing up my children, my career. I say that in despite living through the Thatcher years, the 3-day week, the miners' strike, the poll tax, and many more oppressing of the working class. I now find myself remembering the long-forgotten words of my parents and their generation. I now recall the echoes of stories about family members dying because there was no money for a doctor. My father queuing for the Co-op milk depot to get around to take out. My mother being told when she asked for a rise, half a loaf is better than none. I personally viewed these tales from when I was young as the olden days, and if I ever thought about it at all, I thought it was history, and I was just glad that I hadn't lived through it. The days my parents spoke of are now coming back, and back with a vengeance. We're sacrificing the terms and conditions we fought for, our parents fought for, and we're seeing the destruction of the welfare state, and we are allowing this to happen, and dismantling the world-renowned, respected the NHS. That person I was has now gone, and I realise how unlucky I was living through that window of time. Despite all the horrors Thatcher inflicted, I can see around the corner, and I'm committed to fighting for the future generations. The irony of satire, thank you, the irony of satire will have come to play in more ideas that are mooted, ideas that would not be out of place in things like Gulliver's Travels. Over the years, I've seen windows blocked up in old buildings and thought, oh, that must be the window tax. Never once did I wonder how it felt for those people. And now I reflect, asking myself the question I'm asking because we're facing the bedroom tax, something that surely would have been beyond our wildest dream. You know, anybody with an iota of humanity. We must ridicule these inhuman and uncaring policies that have been inflicted upon us. Ridicule them while never forgetting how serious they are, because without highlighting the absurdity of these decisions, they will become the norm. And we all know that history was the norm for whole neighbourhoods to be put on trains and vanish. The bedroom tax is one of the many injustices heaped upon us by this government. The Welfare Reform Act, privatisation of the NHS, reducing the money to local authorities to the point where we're seeing the destruction of the welfare state. I hear people say at work and when I go out, they don't realise what's happened. It's not been thought out. Oh yes, it has, and they do know what's happening. They know only too well. It's all planned. It's a class war and designed to bring the working class to their knees. to take us back hundreds of years. Owen Jones interviewed a member of the last Labour government and asked why there'd been no council houses built. Her reply was, but there was nobody in the government who'd been brought up on a council estate. That says it all. We need to get people in Parliament representing our class. Finally, people have said it was brave to vote against the cuts. Well, it wasn't actually. It was necessary. It was necessary, having worked in social care for 20 odd years. I couldn't vote again to get rid of services that vulnerable families that I'd worked with were used. And when you're standing on the deck of the Titanic, it's not brave to try and fight for your loved ones. You're left with a fait accompli. You either drown or you fight. Many people have not realised this yet, that we're sinking, and we need to be there for them when the truth hits. Thank you.